Hello all and welcome to Astro Wheel of Fortune. My name is Vlada and I read tarot, and for this reading I am doing a reading on do I pick option A or do I pick option B? So this is a reading for a situation where you might have two options of anything, two jobs, two situations, and you're struggling to decide whether you want to go with option A or option B. This reading can also be used as a substitute for like a question of should I stay or should I go? So staying can be option A and going could be option B, or you can decide which one you want to be option A and which one you want to be option B. Set the intention before the reading for which one you want to be option A and which one you want to be option B. But this can be for anything really, where you will have 2 points of action. I'm kind of making this like a decision-making reading. So again, option A or option B. Do I go with this or do I go with that? We're going to be reading on both options and seeing how they differ, where are the pros, where are the cons, that kind of thing. Now, just a disclaimer before I do this reading. I do this kind of reading in that format in my private readings a lot. And that's why I wanted to do a pick a card with it as well. But what I notice usually with these types of readings, it's never that one option is better than the other, or very rarely it is. There are instances where that can be the case. But most of the time, you will notice that the options will have very different pros and cons. And the decision is really not in the which do I choose because one is better than the other, but the decision must lie in which pros do I need right now more and which cons am I happier to deal with right now, which cons am I happy to face, basically. So just keep that in mind as I'm doing this reading. But with that, I don't think I have much else to say about this reading. Let's just get into it. Option A and option B, let's see which one is better for you, or I just want to help you make the decision. So we've got group 1 with rose quartz, we've got group 2 with red carnelian, I'm pretty sure it is, we've got group 3 with black onyx, and we've got group 4 with the citrine crystal. So take your time, pause the video if you need to, and I'm going to let you pick your group and we're going to get into it. So let's get started. First and foremost, we're going to get started with the first group number 1, which is the rose quartz. So group number 1, let's see what is coming up with option A and what is coming up with option B. Okay, so I'm going to be using tarot, I'll be using oracle cards, all that good stuff. Let's get into it. So group 1, let's look at their option A first. What's happening around option A? What's the current energy around option A? Present energy around option A. Okay, you feel like I can see option A, you feel like it's not paying off quick enough. You feel like you've invested a lot into option A already. You feel like you've put a lot of energy into option A. This is kind of like I'm losing my patience with option A. Maybe it kind of feels like maybe option A is already something you've invested in to a certain degree, and you feel like it's just not paying off anymore. It's just not giving you what you need anymore. And you're kind of like, I feel kind of done with it. Or if you haven't invested into this option yet, it could be that you feel like it would take a very long time. You feel like option A would be the option where you would have to have excruciating amounts of patience. You feel like option A would really test your patience. That is your assumption about this option. That's what I'm seeing for you. You feel like it would take a lot of hard work and you're not sure if you have it in you to put any more like dedicated patient amount of work into something like this, or you may feel like maybe it's not even worth putting this much work into option A. That's what I'm feeling for you. Okay, that's your current attitude towards option A. So can I get current energy around option B? What is group 1's current energy around option B? Option B. Okay, Ace of Cups in reverse. You kind of feel, maybe you feel just defeated in general currently. Maybe you feel a little bit, I feel like there's a level of exhaustion that you're feeling towards both options. You feel like option B could be an option where you will be tested emotionally more so than option A. Option A feels like it's more practical. It's like I need to put a lot of hard work in a very practical manner. I need to put a lot of work into option A from a very logistical kind of, I'm repeating myself, practical, more earthy kind of way. Whereas option B feels a more emotionally draining potentially to you. The way that you're looking at the situation. Option B feels like it would take a lot of emotional toll on you. And so your anticipation of both options is that you're going to be exhausted. But I do feel like you have a little bit more faith in option A than you do in option B. So just purely from your own perspective and how you're seeing it, I feel like currently option A feels like it's a little bit more doable for you, because option B just feels like it would be too emotionally exhausting and it could take a big emotional toll on you. That's kind of what I'm picking up on here. So that's all well and good. That's your own perception of the two options, but I want to get into like the reality, I suppose, of the two options and what you can expect with the two options. So let's start with what you can expect with option B outside of your own perception. What can group one expect with option A? What can group one expect with option A outside of their own perception? We've got 5 of Swords in reverse. And I want to pull one more card. 6 of Wands in reverse. Option A is a little bit tough, but it's something that could really help you with forgiving yourself in some sort of way. You can expect better results with this option, with option A, if you are ready to kind of step outside of your own ego. And I don't mean like, ego is a very important part of the human experience, right? I am not here to shit on ego. But there is a need to put your ego aside with option A if you want to continue with it. And if you feel like, no, I don't want to put my ego aside anymore. I don't want to, like, I feel like I want to be proud. Like maybe there's a feeling that you're kind of like, you know what? I want to be proud. I want to be proud, and I want to kind of like, I feel like putting my ego aside would be too much of a blow to my dignity at this point, or to my ego overall. And it's like not something that I want to do. Then option A is not for you. If you're if you're in that kind of energy, if you're like, too much of a blow to my dignity, too much of a blow to my ego, I can't do it. If you feel like, you know what, maybe I should put my ego aside. Maybe I should just see things from a more removed perspective. If that is your attitude, then option A is probably better for you. Because what I'm seeing here is that you could have really nice results with option A, but it would require a lot of detachment. It would require a lot of detachment from needing recognition when you want the recognition, like in that moment. It's kind of like you will have your recognition with group or with option A, but it's not going to come as soon as you want it, and it's not going to come exactly in the way that you want it to come. That's kind of what I'm getting with this group, with this specific option A. I want to pull an astrology card here as well to get more of a feel towards group one's option A. So option A, can I get? Okay. Venus, give and receive love, find value and see beauty. There is a lot of value in option A, and you may not see it right now. It feels like a hidden gem. Option A is actually a hidden gem. It's like a pearl in a shell. It's like you don't see the pearl if the shell is closed. You have to kind of like get in there and open the shell. You have to kind of put some finesse into it, put some work into it. It's a diamond in the rough. Like that's the way that I'm seeing your option A. But it's just because it's a diamond in the rough, it doesn't mean it's a diamond you have to work to explore, or a diamond you need to uncover. If you feel like it would be too much of a damage to your ego and to your dignity or your pride, then you don't have to do it. I feel like your guides are saying, really, yes, there's value in option A. And yes, if you wanted to stick it out, you would receive the value that you are. I feel like you can sense the value in option A. You can see that option A has a lot to give and a lot to show you, but it's like you're kind of like, but I'm a bit exhausted now. Like, I feel a bit exhausted. I feel like I've put a lot of work into option A already. And your guides are saying sometimes you have to apply more pressure, even though you feel like there's no more pressure to apply. You have to keep going. And if you're going to stick with option A, that's exactly what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to apply more pressure, put more hard and intentional work in, and really, really drive it home. It has this sense of like driving it home, even if I'm not getting the exact recognition that I want, even if I'm not getting the exact rewards that I want at the exact moment that I want them. I'm gonna drive that shit home. Like, that's the way that it feels. And so if you pick to stay with option A, or if you're gonna choose option A, whatever it is, you're gonna have to really apply work, apply pressure. Discipline is gonna be huge with option A. You will need to put, yeah, I mean, first house is like, you're going to have to look at yourself and your own self-expression and your own habits, your own perception of yourself. In a way, what I will say, group A or option A seems to be better for your overall self-development and your overall self-acceptance. Even if it may not feel that way right now, even if it may not feel exactly as option A has the potential to bring a lot of benefits into your life, but it's kind of like, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take intentional time, discipline, patience, like, going, right, okay, I'm not getting the recognition right now, but I know I'm going to get it someday. You're going to have a lot of faith in option A if you stick with it. But the rewards are going to be big. Venus is the energy of luxury, of huge rewards, of pure love, pure admiration. You are going to receive the admiration. I feel like something about whatever this choice you're making, you want to be recognized and you want to be admired in some sort of way. And I think you are admired already with option A, like on some sort of energetic level, but it's not the admiration in the form that you are looking to see it. It's like you are admired, you are recognized, but maybe there's a different way that you want to be recognized, or a different way that you want to get that recognition. Or if you haven't picked this option yet, if this option is not in your life yet, it's like when you do pick it, the recognition is not going to be the way that you want it right now, but it's going to be the recognition that you need. It's like, it's like the recognition, not the recognition that you want, but the recognition that you need and deserve. And it may be very hard to break through that and really see that this is exactly what you need. And this is what's great for your self-development. But the rewards are big. The rewards are significant. That's what I'm getting here with this option A. But it's not an easy journey with option A. That's what I'll say. It's not going to be an easy journey. It's not always going to be very easy to navigate this journey. But once you get over that, once that journey, once you work all of those knots out, it's going to be beautiful. Like, that's kind of what I'm getting with option A. So let's move into option B again and get the energy around option A and what you can expect, or sorry, option B. Let's go to option B and see what you can expect with option B outside of the expectations that you already have. Let's see what the cards can tell us about option B. So option B, what can group 1 expect option B to be without considering their own expectations of it? Like, what is the reality of option B? Temperance card in reverse. Option B, it would take you a long time to find balance with option B. I feel like emotionally it is going to be a disorienting option for some reason. I also feel like there's a little bit of like rose-colored glasses with option B. You may feel, maybe right now when you're looking at option B, it may seem like there's something really good there. I'm not saying that it's not good, because I'm not getting that picture yet. I'm getting the picture of like you may be are having a bit of a delusion towards option B. You might be seeing something in option B that actually isn't there. And also option B is pulling you because of certain maybe childhood experiences or past life experiences. But it's more what I'm getting with, I don't know why, but the word temperance is kind of forming in my mind when I'm like looking at temperance. It's forming into temptation. In my head, I'm seeing temptation. It's a tempting option and it's designed to tempt you. It's designed to be very tempting in its nature. But it does not make, you can sense emotionally and intuitively, maybe even, that this is a bit of a temptation, that this is not something solid and real to such an extent or to such a degree that option A is. It's like you can feel intuitively, whatever this option B is, it's more of a temptation. It's a promise of something, but not necessarily something that actually has tangible, physical value attached to it. That's what it feels like. Maybe you might want to think about option B as more of why am I tempted by it? And what does it represent to me, rather than as a real option. Saturn. There's a lesson with option B. It feels like more, if you were to go for option B, it would be more of a hard lesson. And again, like, I don't want to say one option is better than the other, because hard lessons are also, like, if we were looking at it from a very removed, big picture perspective, bird's eye view, like, hard lessons are important. You could come out of this option B a much more mature person. Option B could teach you some very hard lessons, and you could come out with a lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom. I mean, maybe you feel like you can take it. Like, maybe you're like, you know what? I want to know. Option B is going to be emotionally hard. I may get a hard... Something about option B is like a hard look in the mirror. But sometimes a hard look in the mirror can do us good. But if you feel like you don't want to have that experience right now, when you're like, something about this is like something that tempts you, but it tempts you because you secretly want to see your shadows. And you secretly want to work through your shadows. This option B is pulling to you because you want to do some shadow work. And it's like, if you navigate option B and what is tempting you about option B, if you observe the things that are tempting you about option B, you will realize that you can work on those shadows, or you can do that shadow work without actually choosing option B. Because I think option A, physically and practically, is better for you. But it may not offer as much shadow work as option B would. But the beautiful thing is that you can take the lessons from option B without choosing option B, by observing what is tempting about option B. Very interesting. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. I just keep getting like option B is also tempting, but I can tell emotionally it will have some repercussions for me. I also keep hearing, I just want to feel. Anything to feel alive. Like, I don't know, it might be sounding very dramatic, but it's like anything to feel alive. And it's like, if you feel like you need that jolt, because jolts can be uncomfortable, you know, like a certain spike of emotion can be uncomfortable. Let me say this, if like, obviously we're talking about different things, but if this is like a person, if this is related to like a person, I feel like you have like some sort of past life kinks to work out, knots to work out. But ultimately, even even if it's not a person, even if it's some sort of situation or option, something about this option, it's meant to show you some hard truths about yourself. And what you see may make you feel disoriented, a little bit confused. There's a lot of honesty with option B. Like, if you choose option B, you have to be, if you're prepared to be faced with a lot of honesty, if you're prepared to be faced with a lot of like bluntness, and you will have to work with very stubborn energy. So again, like the reason I'm looking at it as a person is because I'm getting this like stubbornness. So even if it's not a person, let's say it's a job or let's say it's anything, something about this energy is very stubborn, and it's stubborn towards you. But it's stubborn towards you because you're stubborn. And it's like a mirroring energy. And it's meant to show you your own stubbornness, and not always in the most flattering of lights, if that makes sense. But at the same time, it's so tempting to see that side of yourself because you know you want to witness it, and you know you want to honor it. Because the thing is about shadow work, it's not to sit down and like shame ourselves further for like all the qualities we don't like in ourselves. The purpose of shadow work is to see that side of ourselves and go, interesting. How very interesting that I do that. You know, let me be mindful that that is a tendency or a pattern within me. I feel like shadow work is basically an exploration of the patterns that we would rather say we don't have, or we'd prefer to feel like we don't have them. But we have them, and it's okay to have those patterns, but we need to be aware of those patterns. And so option B can make you aware of patterns that you would rather not be aware of. Whereas option A, there's a gentler way of approach here, because Venus is like, let me make you comfortable, let's talk about things, let's see, like it's very kind of like soft and comfy and relaxed in learning the lessons. But if it needs to go slow, it will go slow. In a way, both of these options will help you learn the same lessons, except it'll take a lot longer with option A, and it'll take a lot quicker with option B. But option B can leave you feeling very, very disoriented, and option B can leave you feeling emotionally drained, maybe even at the end, where you will have to recover on some sort of emotional level. Whereas option A, while frustrating, while like, okay, this is frustrating that it's taking so long for me to learn these lessons, will not leave you as tired. It will not leave you as emotionally spent, I suppose. And so you need to make the decision, as I said at the start in the introduction, you need to decide which one you want to go with. Would you rather to go gentler but slower, or would you rather to figure something out quick, but maybe learn some very hard truths about yourself very quickly? Because I feel like you will learn those hard truths about yourself with option A, but it'll be slow enough that it'll be easier to integrate, and it'll be easier to kind of accept those hard truths. Whereas like here, you're going to be like, oh shit. Like, you know, it's a feeling of like, and if you're watching this when I'm putting this, or whenever you're watching this, I'm putting this out in January. And January, maybe February, because I'm recording it at the end of January. But by May, this lesson will be learned with this option. Whereas it might take longer with this option, basically what I'm getting. May. Kind of like roughly 4 to 5 months. I think with this option, you will learn that lesson in 4 to 5 months, and you will be like, right, well, I learned the lesson, goodbye. Like and option B has served its purpose. Whereas option A, it's like, it can go beyond serving its purpose. It's like, with option A, you'll be able, it might take you a year, maybe even longer than a year to figure this out, but you would be able to kind of continue on with option A and stick with option A. And, you know, it's almost like you will find new lessons to learn with option A all of a sudden. And option A will present new things to learn through it. So that's what I'm getting for you for your decision making spread. So option A, slower but gentler, and will require a lot of like ego checking, and will require a lot of your ego and pride being put aside, and will require you to realize that there is different types of recognition that you need to receive rather than ones that you want to receive. Option B, much quicker results, much quicker lessons, but could leave you feeling very emotionally exhausted. But if speed and efficiency is your interest, then I think option B would be the better option. If you are interested in being handled with gentler kind of like gloves, I suppose option A would be better for you, but it will take longer. But again, it's like, so what if it takes longer? You know, sometimes things that take the longest are the best things. So that's where I'm going to leave you. That's what I have for you. Group number 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you liked it, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback, especially for this reading. I feel like I say that for every reading, especially on all my readings. Leave your feedback because I love reading it. And even if I don't get to respond to you, I always really enjoy reading feedback. Sometimes I won't see everyone's comments, but you know, if you're watching this way into the future. But yeah, let's move on. I'm going to move on to my next group, and that is group number 2. We're going to get into your decision making spread. Should you pick option A or option B? Let's get into it. So decide which one you want to be which, and I'm going to get started. So first, I'm looking at your perception of the two options and your attitude towards the two options. Let's get into it. So option A, let's see group 2's attitude towards option A in this situation. Group 2, option A. Okay. Cards keep flipping, but they're not coming out. So, okay. Okay, you feel like option A could be a lot of responsibility. You feel like option A could be a lot to take on for you. You're not sure if you could handle all of option A. You're not sure if option A is something that you can carry. It feels like a big undertaking. You're not sure if this big undertaking would be worth it with option A. You're not sure, like, will it pay off? Like, I would have to take a lot on. I would have to take like a lot on in order for this to pay off. I would have to really, really take on a lot of responsibility. I would feel like I'm carrying a lot on my shoulders. Am I okay with taking that much on? That's the kind of attitude that I'm getting with you for option A. You could feel like you would have to be okay with maybe sacrificing certain things for option A as well, because it even feels like option A could take a lot of your time. You're aware that it would take a lot of your energy, a lot of your efforts, a lot of your time. Just like day to day, it feels like option A demands a lot of energy. But you're not quite sure, like, is it worth it or is it not worth it? You're not quite sure there. You're like on the fence. So I guess we're going to find out. So let's look at option B now and your attitude towards option B before we proceed. So option B, what is... So with option B, you feel like you will have more time. Okay, that makes sense. With option B, you're like, I'll have more time. I'll have more time to connect with myself. I'll have more time to be by myself. You feel like being in the presence of option B or whatever this option B is. You feel like it could allow you to put more energy and more work towards self-development, self-focus. You feel like it would give you more time to have one-to-one time with yourself, with your interests, with your hobbies, with things that you want to research, things that I feel like you prefer option B, but you may feel like maybe option A has like, it's like, there's a feeling with option A, it's like, is there something that option A has to offer me that I'm not aware of? Like, you feel like there might be some hidden treasure with option A, and with option B, you're kind of like, you may have a better understanding of option B. It kind of feels like with option B, I know what I can expect. It's almost like you intuitively know, you have some sort of awareness of option B. Option B can even be a little bit predictable, and you're kind of happy with the predictability of option B. Whereas option A is a lot more unpredictable, but it's like the unpredictability of option A kind of excites you. So let's get into it and let's see, is it a good reason that it excites you or not? But let's see. Option A, what can group 2 expect from option A outside of their own expectations and perception? Temperance card. Option A is a lot less stressful than you think it is. That's the first thing that I'm going to put out there. Option A is a lot less stressful than you think it is. It is so balanced. It is actually kind of a perfect fit for you. Whether it's a job, an opportunity, whatever it is, a person, option A is a really good fit for you. Option A understands you energetically, like even if it's not a person, it's like if it's a job or opportunity or whatever, place, location, it understands you. It has a relationship with you beyond of the physical. There's like a spiritual understanding. It's like you are expecting a lot of stress with option A, but it's actually not stressful at all. In fact, a lot of what you think option B is, option A is just that. I feel like maybe you expect that you would have to put a lot of energy and a lot of effort and a lot of time into option A, but in reality, like option A is way more laid back than you think it is. Oh my god, option A is popping. Option A is popping. Like it's I don't know how to explain it. I should, because I'm doing this reading. Okay, let me try and figure it out. What I'm getting is that you're expecting that you would have to put a lot of work into option A in order to get big rewards. You feel like there would be big rewards to gain. And you're like, I'd have to put in so much work. And I'd have to like really take on so much responsibility in order to get option A to pay off. But in reality, option A will require some responsibility undertaking, will require certain amount of accountability from you and a certain amount of like, yes, I'm taking ownership of option A, but it's not as much as you expect. And in fact, option A will have so much to give you and so much to pay back to you in some sort of way. It's almost like option A has the potential to pay back energetically or whatever, financially, if this is a financial situation, energetically, emotionally. It has so much to pay you back, even for things that you worked hard for in the past and didn't receive payback. Option A has this option A can give you not only rewards for what you put into option A, but rewards for what you've put in the past. It's like option A, whatever it is, energetically can see that you deserve to be receiving now. Something about option A you will receive a lot from option A. Like that's what I'm getting. There's like this energy of just receiving. And I think if you pick option A, you're going to be like stunned by the fact that you're getting so much from option A. Because there's going to be this, you're going to go into it with almost an expectation of like, okay, I have to put a lot of work in here. Okay, let me, you're rolling up your sleeves. And then option A is like, oh no, it's cool. Like here, there you go. And it could be a little bit of a stunned reaction from you. It could be a little bit of like, oh, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all. So option A has the potential to surprise you, but in like a really chill way. It's like when something surprises you, but it's not a surprise that is unpleasant or shocking. It's like, oh, I'm pleasantly surprised here. Like that's the energy that I'm getting. Okay, let's get an astrology card to get more on option A. I keep hearing don't knock it till you try it. So for some of you, maybe that's 12th house. It's so hidden. Whatever it is, there's something very, you maybe are expecting some sort of rewards. It feels like option A can not only just give you physical rewards, whether it's in forms of affection or in forms of finances or in forms of like, physical monetary things, tangible things that we receive in life. But option A can give you something that is so subconscious and is so invisible, but so crucial. There is something that this option can give you that you don't even know your soul is craving. And that's why you're so attracted. There's something that your soul is craving from this option. And it's like a deeply nurturing energy. It's like it feels like you're craving the feeling of receiving just because you exist. You're feeling the craving of receiving just because you are here and you were created to receive. Not because you did something, not because you were kind, not because you were, working really hard, not because you took a lot of responsibility. Just because you're here, you exist, and you deserve to receive. And maybe you're probably someone who doesn't receive like that, and maybe you've been taught that you need to receive through doing something or giving. It's like, only if I give, I can receive. But this option is going to teach you that you can receive without doing anything, just existing. It's like you can transcend something through this option. It's a very, and I mean, like, it's a very karmic option, but not in a negative way. It's like there's a lot of karma that can be worked out through this option that releases you from some sort of trap that you've been feeling. Because I keep looking at this cage and it's open. It's like this option can open your cage and let you out of your cage in some sort of way. Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. I'm hearing the lyrics and it's like, you think you're doing just fine in your cage, but this option can show you that you can open up the cage and get out of the cage, and it's still going to be good. And it's going to be better than just doing fine in your cage. You don't even understand how good this option can be for you. That's what I'm getting. It's like you can intuitively, subconsciously understand, subconsciously you get it, but you don't fully understand what this option can bring you. The rewards, the third house. You know what? It could really open up. Something about this option is like, will open up your voice. Something about you being heard. Something about you being able to speak for yourself in a very authentic manner all of a sudden by picking and choosing this option A. It's like, when you're talking in a group, the energy that I'm getting is like when you're speaking in a group and people are interrupting you and then there's just one person nodding and going like, oh, keep going, like I'm listening to you. That's the energy that I'm getting with this option. And again, it doesn't have to be a person. It doesn't have, it's like whatever this is, it's that energy of like, come on, keep speaking. Tell me more. I want to hear more. Come on, tell me more. What else do you have to say? What else did you not get to say in your lifetime? What else have you not got to express in your lifetime? Let me sit here and allow you to express it to the fullest extent. Let me be here and really witness you. This option A, just wants to witness you in your purest form. And it's calling you in and being like, come this way, because I will witness you. I will make you feel heard. I will make you feel deeply understood, not just understood on a surface level. I will make you feel like I will study you, but not study you to destroy you or study you to, be deceitful towards you or betray you. I will study you to understand you and to lift you up. That's what I'm getting with this option. So it kind of feels like if it's a job, it's maybe like a job that really puts a lot of investment into you. If it's a person, it feels like this person would really definitely invest into you in a big way. I also feel like being with this person can feel like being a little kid again, because the third house is the house of early development. You could feel, if it's a person, you could feel like you're a child again, and you're joking around, and you're just being kind of like playful and energetic, and you're learning new things together, and there's a lot of curiosity. Same thing if it's a job or an opportunity. It's like it's allowing you to step into quite a childlike energy while still remaining very mature, if that makes sense. And maybe that's what you're worried about, because I see that you're seeing option B as a very mature option, and you're not realizing that even in its childlike energy, option A is so mature, so mature. It's just mature in a way that is so understated. It doesn't need to show everyone how mature it is. It doesn't shout from the rooftops about how mature it is. But there's maturity to its immaturity, or maturity to its childlike nature, and this like very playful, youthful energy. So that's your option A. I mean, pretty sweet option. So let's see. Maybe option B is just going to be equally as sweet. So let's see. Don't knock it till you try it. That's what I keep hearing in your group. So the Hermit card. So that's your expectation. The Hermit card. So option B, outside of group 2's expectation of option B, what is coming through about option B for group 2? Three of Swords in reverse. Okay. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like this, I did say it at the start of the reading, sometimes it's like pros and cons, and sometimes one option does seem like it's obviously the better option. But I think option B is not a bad option. But it's an option where you can definitely heal a lot with option B. Option B does feel very predictable. That's what I'm getting. But predictable is not bad. Predictability is not a bad thing. It's like you already know what's going to happen with option B, I think. I think you already know what option B has to offer. There's not going to be... It feels like option A will pleasantly surprise you. Option B, it's not necessarily surprising you in any way, but it's also not devastating you in any way. There will be feelings of frustration with option B because it's predictable. You may feel like you're craving... One thing that I'm getting, you may feel like you're craving predictability, but you're actually craving to be pleasantly surprised. Maybe you're saying, you might think that option A is very risky or something like that, but it's not risky at all. It's like, that's the feeling that I'm getting. Whereas option B is like, it's predictable, yes, and it'll make you feel safe, and it'll make you feel comfortable. It'll make you feel connected to yourself, for sure. You will have a lot of time for self-development. You will have a lot of time for healing. And I keep hearing licking your wounds, so I don't know if that resonates, but, take what resonates. But there is a feeling of like, I'm at the same time frustrated because I hope option B will surprise me all the same. There's a feeling of like, I wish option B would surprise me. I want to go with option B, but I wish it would surprise me more. But option B is not going to surprise you. Like, not to the extent that you need it to, or in places where you need it to, if that makes sense. Option B will be safe. It's a safe choice. It kind of feels like a safe... Both of these are safe choices, by the way. But this one feels risky to you. Because it feels like it has hidden motives, or it feels like there's hidden... You feel like there will be hidden enemies here, because 12th house is hidden enemies. So it's like you feel either this person is a hidden enemy, or you feel like there's hidden enemies involved in the situation with option A. But it couldn't be further from the truth. It's like a hidden friend, or a hidden a person who has like very strong hidden love for you, or like this option, if it's a job or something like that, has very strong hidden love towards you as a situation. Well, whereas option B feels like it's safe. It's tried out, been there, done that. I feel like you're attracted to option B because it feels very safe and predictable. It feels routine. The idea of routine is coming through here with option B. There's no routine with option A. That's one thing that I will say. Option A is not a routine, because 12th house is not a routine kind of house. It's the opposite of it, because the 6th house is the routine house and they're on the same axis. And so, but there's routine in the lack of routine with option A. And I know that sounds like paradoxical, but it's like there's a hidden routine to it all with option A that will make you feel safe and secure. But the actual like physical routine is not present as much. If it's a job, it's like maybe a job that you will not always have the same hours. You will not always have the same things to do. And maybe like if this is jobs especially, I'm kind of feeling like this job will always be the same. You will always work from this hour to this hour. It'll always be like that. And it's like, you know, that kind of way. And your guides are kind of like, yeah, it'll feel safe. It'll feel like, you know, and you can predict what's going to happen. But secretly you crave this lack of routine that brings a hidden type of routine that is more emotional and spiritual as a result. Instigation, bravery, and a pioneering spirit with cardinal energy. Cardinal energy is it's a starter type of energy. It's a motivating kind of energy. It's an energy that is like, come on, let's do this, you know? So you feel like you could get a lot done with option B. Like it's proactively, you could be, I feel like you really care about your own self-development and your own connection to yourself. And you feel like you could really work on yourself if you pick option B. But in reality, you could do that with option A too. It's just like working on yourself with option A will be unusual and not the way that you are used to working on yourself, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see what else with option B. Neptune, sacrifice. Well, Neptune energy does make me feel something about this choice. Also, what's standing out to me, no matter what option you choose, group 2, you have, because we have the 12th house and we have Neptune energy here, you will always have doubts about everything. I feel like you are wired to doubt things. You are, because maybe you have some trust issues with things. I have to tell you, whether you pick option A or whether you pick option B, you will always have a little voice at the back of your head that will say, maybe I should have gone for the other option. It's like, it's inescapable. And at the end of the day, what I'm kind of feeling is like, you could pick option A or you could pick option B, but what you will really need to look at is, once you pick the option, how do I stick with that option and stop doubting my choice? Because that's the main reason or main lesson within these. It's not even about which option you choose here. It's about the fact that you stick with that option and you say, yes, the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where I pick it and where I water it. Because you will have doubts whichever option you pick. But one thing that I will say, if we were to take away your, natural doubt and natural doubting of what you pick in your choices, I have to say you will be more, there's more to gain with option A. And I feel like you really need to receive, and it's time to receive. And I don't want to, because I don't want to take your own autonomy. And if you're looking at the spread and you're like, no, option A, no, I don't want to go for it. I want something trusty. I want something that is routine. I don't care if the routine, it feels safe to me right now. But what I'm getting is that eventually, even if you pick option B, option A will come up again, or something that is very similar to option A will come up again. And it's almost like, maybe in a year's time or in another 2 or 3 years, you will be faced with the same choice again. It feels like you will be faced with this choice unless you take away the doubt and say, no, I'm sticking with option B and I'm never doubting option B ever, ever, ever again. Or unless you go, no, I've tried option B. I know what it has to give me. I know what it has to do for me. I'm picking option A. But you will need to, again, remove the doubt. Remove the, have I made the right choice? Maybe I should have stuck with option B or whatever. It's like there's a need to just stop doubting yourself in your choices, because your choices are powerful. And whatever it is that you stick to, or whatever it is that you decide on, you need to really give it that energy of like, no, this is my decision and I know it's correct. Because you're doubting your own decision making, and the doubt of your own decision making is actually what's making you feel disoriented, if that makes sense. So that's what I have for you, group number 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I'm finding these readings very interesting. So if you have any feedback for me, I'd really love to hear it. But I'm going to leave this group. If you have any... Oh, I just said it. If you have any feedback, leave it. Let me move on. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And I'm going to move on. We're moving on to group number 3, which is the Black Onyx. Let's get into it. Black Onyx. Okay. So group 3. Group 3. The way that I'm doing it, I'm asking what is your perception of the 2 groups first and foremost, and then we'll get into the deeper reading. So let's get started with option A. What is group 3's perception of option A? Group 3's perception of option A. Group 3's perception. Page of Pentacles in reverse. You feel like you're blocked off in your knowledge or education to pick group A, or to pick option A for some reason. That's what it feels like. You feel like you're not educated enough, or not like you don't have enough information to pick option A. Like you kind of wish you had more information about it, or that you were more knowledgeable or educated on the subject. Or maybe it's like in general, you feel like you wish you had more knowledge or information in order to go with option A. You feel like if you were more educated or had more knowledge, you would definitely go with option A, but that's just not the case for you right now. Maybe you feel like you need to do a course before you pick option A. Maybe you feel like you need to do you need to do some reading, maybe pick up a couple of books in order to go with option A. There's a feeling of like, I don't have enough knowledge to proceed with option A. But something, obviously you're in this reading, so obviously something in you wants to go with option A. So we're gonna look at it, because your perception can be very different from the truth. So we'll see what comes through. But there is a feeling of like, I don't think I'm prepared in my knowledge, my wisdom, and my education to go with option A. I don't feel like I can go with it. Especially if you're thinking about work or jobs, there's that kind of like, oh, I don't know if I'm educated enough to go for this career or this job or take this path. But it can be with anything, You may feel like you're interested in a person and you feel like you're not educated enough for this person, which is like, I already feel like that's not the correct way of looking at the situation, but we'll see what the cards want to say. I don't want to insert like my own opinion on this, because what I'm getting is that that's just your opinion. Your feelings are like, I don't have enough knowledge, I haven't like read enough books on this subject or something like that. There is that kind of feeling. So let's get the perception of option B and see how that figures in the situation. Option B. Option B, you're quite unsure about. You kind of feel like option B, something about option B hasn't convinced you fully that you should be picking it. Option B is not convincing enough for you. It's like, yeah, like, it's cool or whatever, but like, I'm not that convinced on option B. It's like I could take it or leave it. I'm getting that kind of feeling. It's like I could take it or leave it. I don't really, and so you're in a bit of a stalemate, because obviously you're trying to make this decision in general, but I feel like if you were presented with only option B, you would kind of go, oh, I don't know if I even want to take it as just a singular option that I have. But we'll see what's outside of that, because your perception, as I said, it's not everything. There's an objective kind of reality to it as well. Yeah, you're kind of like, another thing that I'm getting potentially in this group, what could be interesting is that maybe neither of these options are for you. It could be a bit of a wild card here, and so your guides could be saying neither of these. Maybe there's a third option that you're not noticing. Maybe there's a third option that you're not paying attention to, and they might want you to look a bit closer. But we'll see. Let's get into option A. What is options A kind of like objective reality outside of your perception? It's very nice. It's very nice. Option A, you are educated enough for option A. You are smart enough, knowledgeable enough, wise enough for option A. You absolutely are. In fact, something about your novice energy, or like if you feel like you're a bit of a novice or you feel like you are not experienced, it's actually an advantage. That's what I'm getting. I feel like it kind of makes me think, like, when people think, oh, I'm not like educated enough, or I don't have enough experience to go into this type of job or something like that. And you might think that that's a bad thing, but in reality, the job might be looking for people who don't have as much of an experience in those kind of fields or whatever, so that they can get a fresh perspective. You can bring a really fresh perspective to option A. You're actually like a very significant detail that option A needs. Option A might need you more than you need option A, but it's also like, because option A needs you a lot, you are going to receive a lot from option A because it's going to be so grateful for your perspective. That's kind of what I'm getting. You'd be very happy if you picked option A, if I'm honest. Like, the Sun card is such a happy card. It's just a card of joy and feeling content and feeling warm and fuzzy feelings. Like, I think very quickly you would realize that you don't need to be like super educated or super experienced in order to be connected to option A. As soon as you pick it, almost like it's instant. Oh my God. This is like a dream opportunity. Listen, option A is like a dream job. This is actually like a dream job for you, or a dream person, a dream type of a relationship. It's like all your dreams could come true with this option. And again, like, I don't want to be like too intense about it, because obviously everything has challenges and everything has difficulties, and there's no such thing as perfect relationship or perfect job, or perfection in general is not really a thing, because every time we become more perfect, we want to be more perfect again. And it's like, but it's very close to a very significant wish fulfillment here, option A is. You are having an imposter syndrome around option A when you know that option A has something for you that could have... It's like, I keep hearing your wildest dreams coming true with option A. Your wildest dreams coming true. Option A has so much to give you, so much to teach you. Just, as soon as you choose option A, if you do choose it, you will feel this like immense feeling of warmth and hope and faith in life in general. I think it's like, it's a new lease in life, or like, this is a small element, or just one option that can really help you regenerate yourself, because the star card is all about regeneration. It comes after the Tower card. The Tower card, I'm pretty sure it does, because this is 17, right? Yeah. And Tower is 16. It's the Tower is destroying. The Tower destroys, and the star heals and regenerates. And the Sun is like the warmth that provides life, provides connection, provides happiness. Because then we've got the star. It's the star, the moon, the sun, right? And the moon is like that limbo space where we connect to our own intuition. And like, it just feels like this is a very... this energy could heal you a lot. There's healing properties to option A that could really, really heal you and give you a new lease of life, new strength, newfound passion for life, newfound excitement for life. It's very nice, honestly. There's a really nice energy around option A. And the best part about option A is that it's not very demanding, or like it doesn't expect too much from you. There's something, and not that it doesn't expect anything from you, but it's like this energy doesn't expect much from you. You are just good as you are. You're perfect the way that you are. Virgo energy, integrity, reverence, and service. The only thing that this option would want from you is integrity, reverence, and service. These Virgo qualities. Yes, option A would expect that you serve it in some sort of way where it serves you too. Kind of like mirrored service to each other. So if it's people, it's like a person who likes to be served by the person that they're with, but they will definitely serve the person that they're with too. They expect integrity and accountability. Or like this option, this job, it's like integrity, accountability, honesty is really important with this option. You will not be able to be deceitful. That's the only thing that I'm getting with this option A. Deceit will not get you nowhere with option A. And I'm not saying that you're deceitful. I'm just like hiding things or wanting to hide like versions of you. This option wants to see all of you, all that you have to give. You need to be prepared to need to be vulnerable in this option A. It's like if you go with option A, you will need to be prepared to be vulnerable and very open. You can't be secret, like you can be secretive to a point because it's our right to be secretive about certain things. But like too much secrecy would be, it wouldn't serve this energy. So you have to really know that you need to be ready to be exposed in some sort of way, or expose your soul, whether it's to this person or to this job. There's a need to be like very, and I don't mean like if this is a job, it doesn't mean you have to go and expose your soul to all the people in the job, but you need to do this job, or you need to work in this career from a point of view of like, let me give this job or this career path all I've got in a very vulnerable way. Integrity, honesty. You need to also be very caring for the collective with this option A. It's like if you go with option A, you need to care about the collective, because it's like if this is a person, this person really cares about the collective. And they care about, and you need to understand that they will care for you, but their utmost mission or their utmost care is for the collective. And it's not because they don't care about you or they care about the collective more than they care for you. That's not the case. They care about you because you're part of the collective, and they care about the collective. Again, with the job or career path, maybe this is a very collective oriented job or career opportunity. You need to have the collective's best interest in mind in order to gel with this option, in order to connect with this option. And if you're not ready for that, then this option will not be for you. If you are, I feel like for a lot of you, I'm describing this and you're like, you know what? Yes, I want that. That's exactly what I've been craving. Then this is definitely the option for you. And neither is right or wrong. There's not like, it's not that if you don't pick this option that you're a bad person. That's not the truth of it at all. But if you are craving, I feel like you're craving the warmth that this option can bring into your life. You're craving the vulnerability that this option can bring into your life. You're craving, it's like, you know, when someone's secretive or private and they're like, but secretly there's something about them that wants to be a little bit exposed, but in a gentle and a loving way. I feel like there's something like that here. There's a feeling of like, I want to be exposed, but I want to be exposed to very loving and caring and warm energy. And I feel like this option is that for you, for a lot of you. We've got Capricorn. very earthy energy here. See, I do feel, because like earth signs come off as very educated, I find, even if they're not like, you know, classically educated or whatever it is that they want to call it, like, but people with earth energy or like strong earth energy seem, it's like they're educated in life itself. And something that you need to be prepared for within this energy is that whatever this option is, whatever it represents here as you're watching this reading, this person, this job, this career knows what they want, and like whatever this energy is, and knows what it wants from you, but it's not like it wants negative things from you or deceitful things from you, or it wants to take advantage of you, but it knows what it wants and won't let you get in the way of what it wants. So one thing that I will say with option A is that you need to be prepared to see that option A will move without you. And it may sound very cruel to say, but it's not in a cruel way. It's like, this option will move on without you. This option will live a full life, you know, whatever way, metaphorically or literally, if it's a person, will have a full and warm and expansive life without you. But it wants to take you on its journey. It wants to take, but you have to accept it. You have to also want it as much as this option. And if this option senses that you don't want it, it won't take you. The thing is, you need to want it, and you need to commit to wanting this option if you are gonna pick it, if you're gonna go for it, because this option is not going to stick around and wait for you to want it or wait for you to decide to go with it. I feel like you could come back to, like, especially if this is a career, yes, this career will kind of like move on without you, but if you ever wanted to revisit it, if you don't pick it now, but you decide to pick it like maybe in the future, this option will be here for you. This is an energy of someone who's very detached in a very warm way. It's like, if this was a person, it's like a person who's like, look, you are very, very difficult right now. I can't talk to you right now. I feel like you're just trying to hurt me. But when you are done, and when you feel like you're ready to not be hurtful with me, and when you feel like you're ready to talk to me, come to me. I will welcome you back with open arms. But right now, I'm not going to take this. Like, that's the energy of this person or this energy. That's what I'm getting here for this option. And it will never hold it against you. It will never make you feel bad about it or shame you about it. It just knows what it wants. Virgo and Capricorn energy, it's like, I know what I want. I know, and it's like, this energy has a use for you. But it doesn't mean it's using you in a sinister kind of way. It has a use for you. It's like this energy has identified you as maybe a missing puzzle piece. But if you don't want to become a puzzle piece within this option will just go, okay, that's no problem. I'm not expecting you to be a puzzle piece in my energy. I'm gonna go find somebody else, or I'm gonna go and move on. And even if I do find somebody else, you're always welcome into my energy. You're always welcome. You come back when you're ready. I'm not gonna force you, because this energy knows that nothing is irreplaceable. There is that, it's like everything is replaceable, but it's not in a bad way. Like, I feel like this energy just knows that in a way everything is irreplaceable, because everything is unique and every person is unique. But at the end of the day, if an energy doesn't want to gel with it, it'll just move forward. It's not gonna get upset or it depends on what this is, what option A is, because it's like, I'm seeing it almost as a person, but again, obviously it's not a person for all of you. Okay. Let's look at option B and see what option B has to offer you. Let's get into it. So let's get the energy of option B for group 2. Option B. Option B. So what is the objective reality of option B outside of what group 3 expects it to be? Queen of Swords. It's, the energy here is that of responsibility, honesty, integrity. Again, maybe these two options are actually very similar. It's a bit less warm. That's all I'll say for now. I feel like there's a little bit less warmth than option A. It's a bit more cold. It's a little bit more calculated, maybe even. And again, being calculated is not bad. It's the excess, or, you know, are you doing it in excess? Wow, okay. Option B is way more serious. Option B is a lot more by the book. Option B is a lot more, it's a lot more, I do this, you do that. This is your responsibility, this is my responsibility. There's an equal kind of like, very, very interested in equality. Option B is a very equal kind of stance. It's not and very, from a very logical point of view, it's a lot more logical. This is a lot more spiritual, and option A feels a lot more compassionate even. There's less compassion with option B. It's kind of like, just get on with it. Just get on with it. But not necessarily in a terrible way. There is, like, we just need to get on with it. Whatever happened. We need to get on with it. Whereas option A is more likely to talk about it and process it, and how can we heal this, and how can we work on this, and how can we make it more comfortable. Whereas option B, especially if this is jobs, like, I feel like you would feel more taken care of emotionally and spiritually with this job or this career. Whereas this career is like, just get on with it. Just keep moving. There's not a lot of empathy with option B. There's a lot of empathy with option A. But if you need, maybe you feel like you need something a little bit more cut and dry. It is very dry energy. It's like, there's a dryness to it. There's a solemnness to it, I would even say. It's like, it doesn't matter what happened. We just have to keep doing what we're doing. There's a sense of duty. There's a sense of duty with option B. It's like, you feel a duty to option B, but at the same time you feel like you could take it or leave it. But there's like, do you feel responsible to option B, or maybe you feel like there's something that you owe to option B, or you owe it to some sort of universal law to complete option B or go through with option B? There's almost a feeling like, maybe you feel it on a soul level, where you feel like you have to pick option B because it would be the right thing to do. But you feel like it's the right thing to do on a more of it kind of feels like, this is the law, so I'm gonna follow the law. But the laws are not necessarily like our human laws, or like, you know, laws that are set by the government or whatever. It feels like universally, like on some soul level, you feel like it's your mission to go through with option B. Option A is more for self, like, preservation, self-care. Option A is a little bit more for like, it's for myself, it's for me. You know, I'm gonna be a little bit selfish here and pick option A. Whereas option B is very much like, it's my duty to carry out option. I wonder if you feel a karmic connection to option B. Like, you feel like maybe in a past life, maybe you had a version of option B in a past life and you didn't stand by it, or you didn't do it correctly, or you didn't take responsibility correctly with option B. And in this lifetime, there's a sense of duty because you feel like you need to karmically play something out here. Because it's almost like you would feel guilty if you didn't pick option B in some sort of way. That's what I'm getting. There's a sense of guilt if you didn't pick option B. It's like, it's my duty to pick option B. The kind of person that I am, I have to pick option B. Or I don't stand for all the things that I've stood for all these years. There might be a bit of an identity crisis coming, like, obviously not as dramatic or intense maybe as identity crisis literally sounds, but it feels like, it just feels like I feel a sense of duty towards option B. And the way that I've lived my life up until this point, option B is the way that I should be going, because option B represents my life up until this point. But there's a part of you that's like, I don't want to live my life the way that I've lived it up until this point anymore. I want to go with option A exactly for that reason. But you have a very strong sense of duty. Like, I must do this. It's the honorable thing to do. I'm almost hearing like, I'm a person of honor and that's the honorable thing to do. But it's not necessarily more honorable than option A. Option A is also honorable, but it's just honorable in like you get to be a little bit more selfish, but I feel like you deserve to be a little bit more selfish. Like that's what I'm getting, group 3. You may feel like, I wonder if you were always told that you were very selfish, or maybe you have had experiences where people assumed that you were selfish and it's something that you're trying to rectify, or you're trying to prove to people that you're not selfish. Trine. Angelic support, harmony, and perfect flow. This is option B does feel like something you naturally know how to do. Option A might seem a bit more foreign to you. Again, I'm not educated enough to be doing option. Maybe you are educated on option B and not educated on option A. So like I have a lot of information with option B. I have a lot of knowledge. I've gathered knowledge on option B. I'm the master. I could literally write thesis upon thesis upon thesis on something that like option B or option B itself. And I would get an A every single time when I write this thesis on option B. I would get an A, I would get awards, I would get, but my soul craves to be a novice at something. You're a master in option B and you're aware of that. And do you want to continue being the master, or are you ready to surrender and be a bit of a novice, but maybe experience new emotions that you haven't experienced in a long time? You've passed this test before. Yeah, you know a lot about this. Scorpio energy is very deep dive. It's investigative energy. You've investigated everything about option B. You've seen the deepest parts of option B. Even if it wasn't the exact option that we have here, you know a version of what option B represents. You understand a version of what option B represents. And you feel a sense of duty towards what option B. If I'm honest, I don't think either of the options are bad. I honestly am going to say you're probably going to be happy in either of the options. But what I will say is that for some of you, obviously this will not be for all of you. You don't have to just pick one. You can have both of these options, by the way. Especially if it's like career. If you're, let's say you have a career in law, I'm just thinking law because we have the justice card here. Let's say you have a career in law and you're thinking, should I go for maybe you're thinking, I want to maybe go and get a PhD or something like that and like really elevate myself in law. Yeah. And you're like, but I know what there is to, like, I know what law is. I understand it. And even if I do get a PhD, like, it'll be amazing. I'll be a master. I'll complete law, basically, you know, like I'll complete it. But at the same time, I'm craving a new experience, and I'm craving like maybe more humanitarian, like maybe you're humanitarian, like maybe I want to do some social work. Maybe I want to do some maybe I'm interested in working with people. Maybe I want to become a teacher. I kind of feel like I want to become a teacher. I want to work with communities. I want to have more personable experiences than this academic experience of law. And maybe I want to become, you know, a teacher of some kind or a mentor of some kind to people. Or I want to do a job where I am more connected with people on a personal level. And it's kind of like you are pulled towards this, but you're also very pulled to becoming a master of something. And your guides are kind of saying you can do these in tandem with each other. You can, you know, volunteer part-time in a charity or something while you're completing your PhD, doing your PhD part-time and maybe taking up a job part-time where you're doing these types of things. And obviously this is very nuanced, so it's not going to fit. You know, if you're picking between two people, like options, like obviously that's not something that, but I feel like then your guides are coming in and saying, honestly, both of these are good for you. Like that's the way that I'm seeing. I feel like both of these energies, both of these options are actually good for you. This one is more of a mastery. This option is like, you can really master something, and it's like, it'll be like a mission in life. It's like, you can either go with a mission and just complete this mission, or you can pause this mission and slow down this mission in order to start up a second mission. It's like your soul is trying to decide, do I just really stick to this one mission, or do I give myself a break from this mission because maybe I am a little bit tired and I want to maybe take on another mission to kind of like bring my spark up again. And you can pick both of them at the same time. For a lot of you, you don't only have to choose one here. But if you really know, like, hey, that's not possible here, I can't pick both, then your guides are saying you will need to decide whether you want to really commit to this mission, or if you are ready to step away from this mission and go into a different direction. If you've decided, actually, even though I could master this, even though I could pick option B in order to master a certain area of my life, I don't particularly want to master it. I want to start on something new. And that's a decision no card can make for you, no tarot reading can make for you. That's a decision you have to make for yourself. So I'm going to leave you with that. Both options, both energies have value to give you. You just have to decide which one you want to take. So that's all I have for you, group number 3. I really enjoyed doing this reading. Thank you for hanging out with me and trusting me to read your cards. If you have any feedback, make sure to leave some in the comments, and definitely like and subscribe if you like this reading. But I'm going to move forward. So we're moving on. So we're moving on to group 4. So group 4, let's look at your options. Let's look at what you're trying to decide on here. And yeah, let's see what comes up. So the way that I'm doing it is I'm looking at, first of all, at your perception of the two options and how you see the two options. So option A and option B. Let's get started with option A. How are you perceiving option A? What are you seeing when you look at option A? Okay, so we've got the 3 of Cups. So option A feels like a fun option. It feels like an option where you could even create a sense of community, or it could bring you some sort of feeling of community, you feel. Maybe you feel like this option would bring new friends, new connections, networking opportunities. There's a feeling of celebration with option A. You probably feel like option A would be really good for your social life in some sort of way. Yeah, there's an excitement around option A. I feel like it's something that does pique your interest, and I feel like option A really makes you feel like there's a friendliness to option A. You feel like you will be very accepted or really, really integrated into option A very well. For example, if it's a job, you feel like you would like your coworkers, like you would really get on with them. If it's maybe you're deciding on, do I go with this person? Do I go out with this person? Option A. It's like you feel like you'd really get on with their friends, their inner circle. There's that kind of energy here. So apply it to your situation. But there's overall a very positive attitude towards option A. So let's look at option B and see what is your perception of option B and what are you seeing in option B. Got the Hanged Man in reverse. With option B, you feel like option B has the potential to make you feel confused and maybe make you feel a little bit stuck. You feel like option B is a little bit wishy-washy. There's something about option B that you can't quite put your finger on. It's this feeling of like, I can't quite figure it out, but that is the very thing that's making you feel pulled or magnetized by option B. It's like the fact that I can't figure it out, the fact that it's so unknown and so confusing and foggy to me is actually making me feel very intrigued and making me feel very interested in seeing what could happen. So you're undecided on option B. I feel like you're more decided on option A so far than you are on option B, but you're still intrigued by option B enough to obviously see this reading, etc. So yeah, let us get into the reading and we'll see how this pans out. So let's get started with option A. And what is option A's objective reality outside of your perception? What can it bring you? What does it have to offer to you, basically? Option A. I've got the King of Pentacles in reverse. And we've got the 9 of Wands in reverse. Well, one thing that I'll say with option A is that it is, it's not as easy breezy as you maybe think it is. Option A. It's not as easy breezy. There's maybe, well, one thing that I will say with this, like if this is a job, there might be a boss that is difficult. If this is a person that you're looking at, this person could be very stubborn and very, very hard to unlock or hard to crack open in some sort of way. This is someone who's quite closed off, very defensive, but not in like an attacking defensive way, but like they retreat a lot from people. Or there could be people involved that are kind of defensive. But it doesn't mean that it's a bad option at the same time. Like, it feels very like you may not be aware of the full extent of the challenges that option A can present. But the challenges are not necessarily something that you can't handle. What I'm getting is that you can handle those challenges. The challenges that option A presents are actually, you have the capabilities and the skills to work out the issues or the challenges or the problems that option A could present to you. That's what it feels like. But your guys are like, look, we have to tell you that there will be challenges. We have to tell you that there will be difficulties with option A. But do we think you can manage them? Yes, 100%. We think that you can manage them with, like, you could pass the test with flying colors. Like, that's what I'm hearing. But it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. You may actually think that option A will be easier than, but like the way that you're viewing option A, the way and the objective reality of option A, it's not that your perception is good and the objective reality is bad. It's that your perception is that it's going to be different than what it is actually going to be, but it's still going to be good, if that makes sense. But it's not going to be as easy. Hard does not equate to bad. Sometimes the hardest things in life are the best. But sometimes the hardest things in life turn out to be the best, turn out to be the most worth working towards, if that makes sense. And I feel like option A kind of has that energy. It's like, it's not easy, but it's worth it. There's something like that. It's worth a try. It's worth a try. Okay, let me pull an astrology card because I'm intrigued to see more. So option A for group 4. What can you say about option A for group 4? Aquarius. Originality, philanthropy, and progressive learning or imaginings. Option A can make you feel, it can add this Aquarian quality to you. Progressive. You are right about the community side of it. You can meet a lot of really beautiful people and a lot of really good networking opportunities, or, you know, a social circle that really resonates with you through option A. You are right about that. It kind of feels like this 3 of Cups goes with the objective reality, but it's almost like you're only seeing this part, whereas like there's also this part to look at. That's what it feels like. You are right about your perception of community, getting on with like people who are involved with option A. You are right about that. You've got that spot on. You must have really good intuition here. But you are just missing a couple of points that are also important. Like there's going to be challenges that are going to be presented, but your guides are only mentioning those challenges because they don't want you to think that once you pop into this option, if you do choose to take it, that you don't think when these challenges present themselves that it's like, oh shit, I picked the wrong thing. It's like your guides are like, no, you didn't pick the wrong thing. It's still a really good option, but we just want you to be aware there are going to be challenges. You will also learn how to be more original or unique through this option in some sort of way. Like originality. Maybe the people that are around you when you look at this option encourage originality or uniqueness of some kind. Woo. I'm gonna take this one. We've got earth element. This is a stable option. I feel like there is a lot of stability with this option. I feel like security will be assured. You will be secure in this option. Even with its challenges, even with its kind of like, even with the hard times, you will feel secure. Even when things get hard with option A, you will feel secure. I think that's the main message that's coming through. Even when shit gets tough, even when things get hard, even when things get difficult, you will feel secure and safe with option A. And that's nice, you know, but there will be difficulties, there will be challenges. I also feel like something about option A, it has like longevity to it, that even like, let's say it's a job. If you're going to this job, there's longevity to this job, that either you stay in this job, that you like it, like after you battle out the initial challenges, you will like it so much that you will stay, or it'll be the kind of thing where the longevity is connected to the people, like you will stay friends or you will stay connected to the people that are involved with option A beyond the existence of option A, like beyond the job, beyond the whatever opportunity this is. I keep hearing long or lifelong friendship. That's what I keep hearing. So you could develop lifelong friendship with some people that are involved with option A. Lifelong connections, lifelong relationships. It just feels like you could have a little community on your hands that you don't even realize, like that you could have some sort of sense of community here. I think you do realize, because your perception is the Three of Cups, but like you don't understand the extent. You don't understand how far it can span. You don't understand how much this can affect your life, because it kind of feels like these people could help you in ways that you didn't even expect the help. These people could assist you in ways that you can't even fathom right now. You can't even imagine it right now. This option is very solid. It's like, you know, I keep hearing pinky promise as well. So like there's some sort of pinky promise, almost that kind of energy. Like I pinky promise you that like I'll be your friend forever or something like that. There's that kind of like clasp onto you energy with this option A. But it's not going to be easy. It's not an easy option. But it's like that, I keep getting the concept of like sometimes things that are the most difficult, the most challenging, and require the most amount of effort and you know, like pressure, the most amount of persistence, that's the word that I'm looking for, end up being the best. So it's a good option. Not an easy one, but a good one. So let's get into option B and see what does option B have to present to you objectively outside of your own perception. So option B, oh, we've got the Sun card. Listen, option B, also a good option. You feel like it's a bit of an unknown option. It's an option that is a little bit confusing to you. I feel like you can't, as I said, can't quite put your finger on it. But in reality, this option is very happy. There's a lot of joy with option B. You could find a lot of joy and happiness within this unknown. It's very nice. I don't see like it can be actually a more relaxed, more chill option for you as well. There's an opportunity to kind of take a step back, maybe take some rest. Maybe if you pick option B, you're able to get more rest. I'm not getting as much rest here with option A. So maybe if you feel like you need rest, option B seems to be the better option. It's like you can take a breather with option B. Whereas I feel like with option A, you need to persist and you need to keep going. You need to keep working and chipping away at it. Whereas with option B, you could be kind of like, oh, okay, I can sit back a little bit. You could sit back and not have to be in the driver's seat as much with option B. It's more relaxed. It's more laid back. But you will have to kind of overstep your fear of the unknown with option B. That's what I'm seeing. Option B. Option B is not very demanding. There's something about option B that is very like, you do what you feel like doing. Oh, option B. Option B is very confusing. It's kind of confusing me. I feel like although it'll be like a happy option, it's joyful, there's a lot of warmth, a lot of relaxation, it stumps you, and it will still stump you and confuse you. It'll be hard to understand in some sort of way, but it's like you're not necessarily mad at it, the fact that it's hard to understand. Like, it's almost kind of fun and enjoyable to be confused by option B. That's almost like once you lean into it. Scorpio. There's a lot of passion here with option B. A lot of passion, like really deep, deep passion. Option B could really transform you into a very different person than what you are right now. There is, because the fourth of swords, like, it's a coffin and it's a person that's like, it can talk about kind of like death matters, and we've also got Scorpio energy here. But it's like being rested in death, or like when we die, it's like we're put to rest, RIP. But it's like so passionate but so relaxed, and it's like, oh, I can finally chill out, but I'm so passionate about it. But it confuses me at the same time. It's like option B is confusing. And option B requires you to constantly pay attention and to constantly figure it out. But it's not in a bad way. It's like figuring out option B is a pleasure. A privilege almost is what I'm hearing. Wow, Scorpio again. Scorpio energy twice. I feel like option B has the power to completely transform you and transform the person that you are, but it's like you need to, and your cards don't even really particularly want to show you how or into what, but that's the point of option B. You're not meant to know. You're meant to just lean into it. If you want to go into option B, you will need to be okay with not knowing what's next. That's what I'm getting with option B. With option A, you will know what's coming next a lot. There will be a lot more like kind of, this is just how things are, and this is what's coming next, and this is what you can expect, and this is how life is going to play out, and this is how the day is going to play out. There's a lot more of that with option A. Whereas with option B, you need to be okay to not know what's going to happen the next day or the next week. You need to be okay with just living in this state of unknown. This state of like, I don't know what's going to come tomorrow. This is something you could be very passionate about, especially if this is like a career thing. Maybe you're choosing between two careers, and like one career, you could have a solid network of people, lifelong friends. This is where, and neither is wrong or right. It's like, but there will be challenges, and it may not be the easiest career, and it will take a lot of my willpower and a lot of my skill to really push through the challenges. But I know I will make solid connections, solid friends, people who I will love for a lifetime, like a community of people. Like, I know that's what it's going to bring me. But if I go with option B, it will give me a passion. Like, again, if this is a career reading for you, if I go with career B, this will give me a passion for this career that I haven't known before. I will become maybe borderline obsessed with this career, but it's going to bring me so much joy. I will never know what my day is going to look like the next day or the next day with this career, but I will love it and I will commit to the unknown. You need to commit to the unknown. You need to commit to the things that are not obvious. I kind of getting obvious, not obvious. But you just need to decide which one, because neither options, again, it's funny because you and the last group, I'm getting very similar energy from that point of view. Like, neither options are bad or good. They have nuanced energy. There's nuance to the story here. And again, as I said in the introduction, most of these readings tend to be that way. There's so much intensity with option B, though, that you need to be ready to feel this intensity. And you will really need to be ready to do a lot of shadow work in order to go with option B. And a lot of this shadow work, I think, will have to do with your connection or your relationship with the unknown. This is a little bit more straightforward, I feel, option A, but it's not any less impressive. It's just more earthy. It's just more like, that here are the challenges, here are the objectives, here are the things I need to get done, here are the people that I'm doing it with, they're my supporters, I like them, I like working with them, we're gonna get this done together, we'll get through this together. This one is a little bit more time spent on your own. That's one thing that I will say. And so if you are craving more of that sense of a community, option A feels more applicable to you. If you're craving community, if you're craving lifelong relationships right now, that's the route you gotta take, you know? But if you are craving more of like discovering your own passion and being alone, if you're craving being kind of like really connected to yourself, and if you're craving being really, really passionate about something, like having one thing to be really, really passionate about and to really discover it and unravel it and like observe it, then option B is your way to go, if that makes sense. But there's no wrong choice here. There's no wrong choice here. But you have to be ready for the challenges that will come along. There will be challenges with option B as well, but the challenges come in the form of shadow work, where you will need to sit down with yourself, meditate, journal, be very honest with yourself. Whereas this is more of like a challenge, like here's a challenge and I'm working on this challenge with other people. Like that's the way that it feels. Like I'm getting the community involved to figure out this challenge. Very interesting. I just don't really see it's I can see why this is a hard choice, because honestly there's no wrong answer and both are worthwhile. And both have their own difficulties, because one thing that I will say with option B, a lot of it will have to be done alone. A lot of this will have to be done in your own space, on your own. You will have to really, really connect to being by yourself. Now, one thing that I will say, it kind of feels like option A, if you want to stick with option A, you have to pick option A. Whereas with option B, somewhere along the line, even if you pick option A for now, it feels like option B is always available to you. I don't know why that feels that way, but it feels like option B is always available to you. And if ever you decide that you're done with option A, you can transition to option B. It will just, it's kind of like it's there for you. It's available. And we had another group that felt like that with one of the options. It just feels like it will always be available in some sort of way, or a version of it will be available, you know? You can always change the direction to option B if you so choose. But if you feel like right now what you need is option A, then go with that. But that's what I have for you, group number 4. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I definitely enjoyed doing it for you. That's all I have for you. If you enjoyed this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment. And if you want to share some feedback, I always love hearing feedback from all of you. I'm going to leave this reading now. I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.